Back at it again, baby. What's going on, good people? It's your boy 3 Stacks in this thing, baby, representing Team Kings of Games. And today I'm coming at you guys with a very, very long and overdue, I'd say overly anticipated update for VENDREAD, you guys. Yeah, people have been waiting for this, but I got people waiting for a lot of stuff. But at the same time, you know, you got like a couple thousand people waiting for something coming from one person. So, you know, sometimes it just takes a little bit longer than the next day. But let's go ahead and get to this build, you guys. I've been testing it a lot. I love VENDREADs. The only reason why I really loved them in the first place was just because they were a ritual archetype. That was actually, well, they were zombie themed ritual archetype. I thought that was cool that they created a new ritual deck that was actually pretty decent. It was like, okay, this could be like at least tier 3. It's like, okay, it's playable. It's playable. Some decks I'm like, dang, you just need to add so much into them before they're playable. But this was like the blueprint of it was playable. It was like, okay, like you can tell it needs something, but it's already playable. And I like that about them. And they definitely caught me off guard. And they just keep getting better. They got more support. They just got their new Link Monster. The Link Monster's pretty good, actually. I like their Link Monster. It's not like, oh, you know, Isolde or Electromite, but it's like for what this deck does, considering how this deck operates, that's a pretty good effect. You know, I like the VENDREADs. It's essentially it's more VENDREAD oriented than it was before. It's like a balance. It used to be like VENDREAD and more focused on SHIRANUIs than VENDREADs, but I kind of cut it down because the SHIRANUIs, like, they just synchro so much. It was taking so much space out of my extra deck for synchros that I couldn't have like generic stuff, and the turn 1 interrupts that I'd normally put up, like a Dweller or a Tornado or, you know, for example, a Giant Hand plus Slayer, I couldn't do those because I didn't have the space for them. So I went through a conversion just for the space issues and kind of just minimizing some of the restrictions and circumventing for the issues. A lot of mitigations that have been incorporated into this main deck, you guys. It's been through a lot of changes. I mean, in general, we've been showcasing VENDREADs on this channel for a year and almost 2 years. Let's do it, you guys. Starting off with the main deck. The first VENDREAD Ritual Monster that they made was the best one. Everyone they made after him just wasn't comparable. Slayer's always been the best for VENDREAD Ritual Monster. Cards like literally just your engine. Like resolving him he is like resolving Spiral Master Plan and Spirals, or like resolving Heavy Metal Full Electromite and you know, just, Pendulums essentially. Like he's one of the strongest cards in your deck and one of the most beneficial portions of your combo because he gives you so much advantage, value, and also the resources. They do a lot of spamming and extending, like all the VENDREADs. Something really cool and interesting about all the one-of VENDREADs, or the ones that are not vanillas. I mean, that are not rituals, is that they remind me of like Orcas, how they all have effects that just special, but they special each other from like hand or like deck or like graveyard or banish zone, just like Orcas do, which is really, really cool. So I like that. And it's before Orcas, so essentially all the non-ritual monster VENDREADs are all just extenders. All they do is just special summon and spam, and then whenever you ritual summon with them, they give you more fodder. So when you resolve cards like Slayer and Battlelord, it just goes down like a ladder where like you'll just start spamming out all your baby VENDREADs, and you use them for link fodder, fusion materials. I mean, link fodder, ritual materials, or even XYZ materials, sometimes synchro materials. And then the main boss monster is actually Executor. He's your go-to, like basically this is your end-all be-all as far as the ritual portion of your deck goes to. Slayer is like a starter more. It's like you do want to make the perfect Slayer, but there's no such thing as the perfect Slayer anymore in this deck. There's only the perfect Executor. The reason why is because of his level. Because his level's so high, it allows you to squeeze in more VENDREADs, which give more effects and more protection. The best Slayer you can do is like the Hound Horde Revenant Slayer, where you get to basically get to banish a special summon monster and banish a back row. But with Executor, you can give him all those effects, plus you can give him the added protection from your, where's he at? Your core. And you can give him Stride if you want. But normally I give him Core, Hound Horde, and Revenants, which equal exactly 8. And then he can't be targeted. He can banish a special summon monster and banish a spell trap. And then also while he's on the field, all other cards except for him himself cannot be targeted. So when you make him with Core and he can't be targeted, essentially nothing can ever be targeted anymore for the rest of the duel until you get Executor off the field. But if your only way of getting him off the field is targeting, that means for the rest of the duel you can't target, because I'm not going to leave him. I'm just going to leave him there. I'm not going to get rid of him. And if he somehow finally find a way to get rid of him, he searches a VENDREAD card. The reason why you want to play 2 Battlelords, even though this is a proxy, I don't know where the second one is, or maybe I'm just too lazy to look through. But you need it for the combo because you go Evolution, dump Lord for Lord. So that way it just saves you more resources too, so that it's more sufficient and self-contained and requires less extra cards from your hand. So you definitely need the second Battle Lord because you're essentially summoning him just for his effect when he leaves the field, but this card's really strong going second. Pretty strong going second, actually. It either baits, or if you can get the proper negations out, like if you're playing as a variety, like if they have, let's say they have monster effect negations and they have spell or trap negations, like if you can bait out one or the other, he'll turn off the rest. So like, let's say, oh, like we just need to bait out like all the spell or trap negations, like, or like all the monster negations, and you bait those out, all that's left is like spell or traps. Then like you use him and you'll call whatever you haven't been able to play through, and that way you don't have to worry about it for the rest of that turn. So Battle Lord's pretty good going second, not that great going first. Wish they would have made him like a Shockmaster, but I totally understand why they didn't. They could have at least just made it until the end of the next turn or something. But those are the 6 VENDREAD ritual monsters. And then you have your 9 power plays, your 9 power starters, which are all like pseudo 1-card combos. You have your 3 Solitaire, 3 Gozuki, and 3 Unizombie. These are all imperative. You max out on all of them. It's super important to open at least one of them. It's just like when you're playing Dark Warrior back in the day where you needed this is your Arma, Greffer, and your Vion. They all are going to essentially get you access to your combo pieces by dumping. He can summon this guy and he can still dump. This can also summon Glow Bloom or Spectral Shade, which is really cool. So Solitaire gets a bit more interactions than they do. But either way, these are all like 1-card combos or 1.5-card combos. Gozuki is a lot better than any of these because you get that extended play where opening with Gozuki, you can have him plus any one of these. You summon him first, do your combo with him, send him off, use his effect to special one of these bad boys. So Gozuki at 3 is pretty insane because you could start with him and then you could still get the other guys out. I love Gozuki. I actually really don't want to cut him down. He's actually really good. He's better than I thought he was. And speaking of Gozuki, there's his twin brother or his cousin, Mizuki. You know, gotta respect the Zukis. We're playing zombies. Zukis are good in any zombie deck. They're kind of just generic zombie support, so to speak. We've got those. So these are all really, really powerful cards. All 12 of them are very necessary. You can play less of some of them, but you gotta max them out. Max out on them, most of them. Now for the VENDREADs, continuing, we have 1 Revenants, 1 Hound Horde, 1 Stride, 1 Court, and 1 Anima. They're all 1-ups. They're extremely accessible. They're also searchable through your field spell. And normally, you just, whichever ones you want the most, you use those. Basically, you leave those on field. The ones that you don't really care about are just link fodder. Like, normally, this is just an extender. This is just like an extender. And then it's ritual fodder after that. And then this is always an extender. I never really ritual summon with it unless it's the only option. These two are my go-tos trying to get these on board because these are the best ones to ritual summon with because you get an effect where you can interact with any deck. Because if they don't special summon monsters, then they probably play back row. And if they don't play back row, they probably special monsters. So if you can make a Slayer with both of these, no matter what matchup, you'll be able to interact with them some way. Which is why I like them. But they're all 1-ups. It's really easy to get access to them, recycle them, etc. They're all just extenders, though, which is really cool. It's not bad to draw any of them. Some of them, actually, you prefer to draw. Like, especially opening... Like, if I open Stride, Core... If I open anything that's not Revenants with, like, a VENDREAD Knights... and discard any of those for cost for VENDREAD Knights, that's like going to start off a really good combo. And then finishing off 1-ups, we have 1 Glow Bloom, 1 Banshee, 1 Beldrog, 1 Spectral Sword Shade, and 1 Spirit Master. This gives you more value out of your slash. You don't ever really want to normal it unless it comes down to that. But it just basically gives your slash that much more value. Gives it a stronger interaction. Yeah, and the Spectral Shade also... Spectral Shade is really strong in this deck because... You can access it through a myriad of different combos, but one of the best ways is that Miracle Comeback where you're like, resolve, you have like no cards, you just like top deck Solitaire, Tribute Solitaire, special this bad boy out, and then you basically get to use him to sack yourself off, and you get 2 zombies from the Banish Zone. One of them has to be a Shiranui, which normally there will be a Shiranui, obviously, and the other one can be any zombie, so you normally get a Shiranui plus a Mizuki. Then you'll get the Mizuki back, you'll do your combo, you'll link off into like either the VENDREAD link, you know, whichever link you want, and you can only do zombies for the rest of the turn, so then you'll Mizuki back anything because you'll normally have zombie rolled up. So zombie rolled won't hurt when you're using Mizuki because you can Mizuki anything. So yeah, it's a really cool for the combo, and it just helps you out. It's like a contingency plan if like turn 1 fails, your board gets broken, you really don't have that much steam, start running low. At least there's a chance that you can come back. This is like one of those tempo swing anime level comeback cards where it's like, 1 card brings you back in the game. Because you can top deck this and it can really bring you back. So you got to play it. No matter what zombie list you play, if you splash Solitaire, you should splash this. So I feel like this and Spear Masher should always be splashed in any zombie deck that plays like Solitaire. Because it gives him more value. And then for the spells, we have 3 copies of Pre-Preparation of Rites. These first 15 spells are all engine cards. We have 3 Preparation of Rites, We also are now playing 3 extra force barrels because getting into your Slayer and getting to your Ritual combo is basically going to get you to the rest of your deck because Resolving Slayer actually does a whole lot for this deck. So Ritual Summoning is the most imperative summoning mechanic to go to first. We also played 3 copies of VENDREAD Knights, and of course, deck needs some draw power. So I have 3 copies of Allure Darkness as well to help out. You got like 18, 19 darks, and they're searchable. It's no problem at all. Sometimes them being in Banish Zone helps you out for further combos. But yeah, all of these spells, if your hand is bricky, these can help it out a lot. Like this Unbricks hands, these all can help your hand out a lot. But essentially, they're just engine cards. So these 15 cards all are fixed. Basically, they're 15 cards that get you deeper into your deck, or they just get you to your combo pieces. So some of them are extra copies of combo pieces. Like 3 VENDREAD Knights, that's 3 of any VENDREAD monster you need it to be. And it has a good effect on field too. Then we have 3 Origins, the original Ritual spell. It's funny how the first Ritual spell and the first Ritual monster they made were better than all the new support that they came out with in the future for VENDREADs. That's just sad. It's supposed to get better, not worse. We have 2 evolutions. You only need 2. You can only activate 1. I would max them out, but I haven't had an issue with seeing the Ritual spells because he had the 3 extra Foolish Burials. The 1 Foolish Burial, of course, got card in a zombie deck. We have 1 Zombie World. It's a Floodgate, and it's part of a lot of your standard combos. And then the only trap I play is probably the best trap you can play in a zombie deck is Swallow Slash. Card is just bonkers. This card can actually just basically be a conversion. It could be a tempo swing. It could literally be like, you were winning. Well, I resolved this. I just took control of the duel. Like, it's not just about the popping cards. It's you get to banish a Shiranui. Sometimes banishing Solitaire can actually be a tempo swing because if you resolve Spectral Shade and then you banish Spectral Shade for whatever reason, you can bring it back from the banish zone off of your Solitaire, and then Spectral Shade is now literally that Miracle 1-card comeback all over again, so you can resolve it again. So this card gets better and better the later... I guess it gets better and better the more you use it. After the first time, like the second time you use it, it's better. The third time, it just gets more and more, because your banish zone gets thicker. Like, the more cards you have in your banish zone, the more valuable this can be, because banishing Solitaire gives you more value than you'll ever get out of Spearmaster. But the problem with that is Solitaire has to have a valid target, where Spearmaster is just like, you can just pop cards. But yeah, Swallow Slash is just really good, you guys. It's super broke. I'm glad that it just counts for any zombie. The extra deck is pretty weird, and it's still tight, and there's still not enough space for everything. But we got Omega. You're playing zombies, you're playing Omega. Savage is pretty easy making the deck. You can actually just get some counters on them. It's another negate. It's a tempo swing also. We got Shooting Rhizar. This is actually here to make Borlo Savage on your opponent's turn if you were not able to actually synchro for 8 for whatever reason. Or also another cool interaction with it is when you can go for Black Rose. Black Rose Dragon on your opponent's turn. But what I swapped out the Black Rose... I swapped it out for the Squire Saga, but one last thing I'll mention is this card can also dump Necro World Banshee, which gives you Zombie World. So there's a lot of different things it could do. Sometimes you don't have to use the monster's effect that turn, so sometimes dumping random things like dumping a Mizuki for a follow-up play next turn, dumping, like any VENDREAD you need. Like, it can give you so many other interactions. Like, the cards just can do like 10 different things, honestly. And then Squire Saga is just so busted. I wanted to play Black Rose, but I felt like Black Rose is like a Punisher, and it kind of just punishes you for overextending. And it's a mid-combo. You kind of want to drop it on your opponent's turn mid-combo, or you can just use it kind of like as a convergence to basically swing the game back in your favor when you want to Black Rose their field. But the thing is, like, you have to be in a losing situation in order to do that, and you also have to be willing to lose your cards as well. And I'm not always willing to, so I kind of like the Squire Saga. You can loop it multiple times, and it can clear multiple cards just like a Black Rose could. It's not as good, but still, it's generic. Requires 1 tuner plus 1 non-tuner, so you can actually summon it, off of Rhizar if you wanted to. 1 Herald of Arclight and 1 Unts for your extra Foolish Barrel targets. And then these are 2 of the new VENDREAD Link, and this is 1 Vampire Sucker. The cool thing with these is when you have Zombie World on the field, any monsters become these. It doesn't matter what monsters they are, if they're not zombies or not, because they're zombies. And these require 2 zombies. But I don't have any of them, so they're all proxies. It sucks. I know. I don't have every card in the game. I just don't. So things happen. And I was unfortunate. I didn't get any of the new VENDREAD Link. I wish I had it. But we also have in the VENDREAD Link, there's combos I don't even know about, bro. Like, I haven't been able to... The Link's new, we haven't got enough time to test with the Link. So there's some stuff that's going to be happening with VENDREADs that I'm going to have to figure out myself by practicing more with this deck with that Link and some combos we can figure out. We got Service. I think that there's 2 new Link 2s that came out, and I feel like all my Ritual decks are going to play them. There's one that works with field spells, and then there's this guy. So the one that works with Field Spell, I'm gonna play it in almost all my ritual decks because almost all of them play like Ritual Sanctuary or some form of ritual Field Spell. And then also this guy's so good in this deck because he modifies levels. So what that's really good with rituals because sometimes you need the exact level. So if you have a level 8 and it has to be a 7, then you could just use him and declare from 1 to 8. So you declare 7, then you get exactly level 7. So for those ritual spells like Dawn of the Herald that require exactly that level, you can use this card to cheat essentially, and you can basically play around that restriction of the mechanic of the spell. So I like it. It helps you to summon Executor too. Like when you don't have enough resources for Executor, you can make one of your guys a higher level. Or if you literally just want to like summon an Executor off of you know, like one VENDREAD, you could just make this guy a level 8, and then he's the entire fodder then for the Executor at that point. So I like him. He's really good for ritual decks. He also have great effects for clearing boards, but mainly I just use him for his level modifier. Super cool card though. Really, really cool card. I think that this card is like underestimated ritual support, and that field spell link too. And then we have Boar Sword. Boar Sword is super easy to make this deck because your Vendreads are like crazy extenders. You special summon a lot more than people think this deck does. And then for the Rank Force, your standard combo, your standard board is going to have like a Slayer with either one of these or an Omega. Sometimes if your hand is like really good, like if you have the Gozuki, if you open Gozuki plus Solitaire, you can have the boards where you Omega your opponent and then you summon a Dweller, a Tornado Dragon, or the Giant Hand. Because you want to Omega them first so you know what deck you're playing. So that way you know that I'm summoning this Giant Hand knowing that it works. I'm summoning this Tornado knowing that I'm not playing Danger Thunder. I'm summoning this Dweller knowing that it actually is a Graveyard Reliant deck. So Omega first and then blind Rank 4. But if you don't know what you're playing and you want to blind Rank 4, there's no better Rank 4 to blind than obviously Dweller. But you have these for specific matchups. If you're playing a combo deck that's like Danger Thunder or Orcus, you want to play this. If you're playing a combo deck that's not them, that's like Pendulums, you might want to play this. And this kind of covers like control matchups as well. So yeah, you guys, that's it for the extra deck and the deck profile. Thank you guys so much for watching it. God bless you guys. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Stay tuned for future content, and you folks be safe and stay positive, all right? Peace out, yo.